Hello and welcome to another session of Hearts of Wulin, Numberless Secrets. This is the framework created for Hearts of Wulin to do stories like Ancient Detective and Detective D and so on. There is a link in the show notes if you'd like to pick up the supplement that this is drawn from. It includes 6 different cases. And this particular episode, as all mine are, is part of Open Hearth Gaming, which is an online gaming community, which you can find out more about at openhearthgaming.com. We have an open gaming weekend coming up that first weekend of September. We've got 36 sessions on the calendar, a shockingly large number. It is free, and you can start for signups on that starting next Tuesday, the 20th at noon Eastern. So hopefully we'll get those seats filled. And if you've listened to any of my stuff and you enjoy these sessions, please come and check that out. We are taking up tonight with our mystery. When we go into look at the mystery map and do the solution, I'll talk about the NPCs and some of the things we know, but we're going to start out. We talked about the end of last time. We're going to start out with a kind of a scene. They've had a conversation with the doctor. They've talked to the people he has headed out, and we're going to kind of do a scene, like a once around for comfort and support, both for making bonds and for potentially clearing marks if people have marked elements here. We're going to start with that before we give folks a chance to go and talk to NPCs and do further laying of groundwork before we move to the mystery solution. So Tyler Baushi, that would have been your request with the comfort and support. So what I'd like to do is we're going to give everybody a chance to do this move. I'd like you to tell us what you're doing to comfort and support, and then you can tell us kind of who you're pointing that at.
I think that see, where were we? Just kind of to rephrase, where
So
were we
the
anywhere
framework, it is
particular?
late at night. You have regrouped back at the rooms that you have been given by Wasp
Okay.
in the palace. You had the doctor come and visit with you. Chow Lin made an offer to him and he declined. And you discovered some things about the doctor's sort of feelings about
Mhm.
stuff. He also gave you each a vial of the counter poison, which he encouraged you all to drink. And that's sort of where we left off, is kind of you had some discussion about what's going on after he left. And we've kind of moved to, I mean, food is there, drink, all of
Mhm.
that.
I think that I'm going to we've got all of this food there, but I think that I'm going to kind of get uh I think that the when First Orchid came, when y'all brought, you know, with, I suppose. Um, she had bundled a few things of mine together to bring, since y'all didn't know what I had. And I think going through it, I pull out a little box, and it is my tea box. And I begin putting the kettle together, and kind of in that idea of a chance for all of us to sit and relax. I'm putting together, making some tea, which is this had always been something that Iron Lotus had done for me. So I may be a trifle clumsy at it. Y'all may find that my tea is a bit strong, but I'm putting together tea, and so the
Okay.
smells of it are wafting through the rooms.
Let's start by having you roll your flat face to fate roll.
Oh yes, yes. A 7.
So that's a 7. So you've got that on the
It's not too
board.
bad.
And then what do you want to roll your comfort and support with?
Let's see. I think. Let's see. I think this is wood. That kind of goes along with the tea and the fire and the all of that.
Sure.
Patience and growth and curiosity. That works well. All right. Oof. That's a
That
6.
is a 6.
Hmm.
So let's have you mark your wood. And I think there is that bit where you're making this tea and you do have a strong flashback to your friend who's not here, who clearly is troubled by things that they could not share with you. And I do think that that is, for you, it's a palpable absence, right?
Yes. There
Uh,
may even be a little bit of that, the doubts of so much of my greatest exploits. Iron Lotus was there with me. The absence of Iron Lotus, maybe this is going to be too much for me.
nice, nice. Uh, Song Da. I think you who are all are sitting there kind of companionably. You do see Baoshi kind of flinch perhaps a little bit and then carry on. Uh, what would you like to do in terms of trying to provide some contact, some connection, some comfort and support to your fellows here?
Yeah. So first off, let me know if my video or audio gets hinky. My computer is starting to act whiny. But I think something that Songda has done for a while, like at inns or on the road at night when it's getting in that like after dinner lull sort of thing of telling stories from the histories of the Wulin masters and the wandering heroes out in the world. Um, and he sort of tailors them in different directions. He might tell stories of like brave wandering heroes or of strange mysteries and conundrums that it took brilliant people to unravel, or stories of like complicated interfamily politics and stuff like that. Um, but when he's not like obsessing about things in the present, it's obvious how much of a like reverence and love he has, not just for the stories but for the like people in them.
Mm-hmm.
um he especially like sometimes over describes the moments of the fight and the different moves and the named maneuvers and the house styles and schools and whatever of the heroes. But he tends to choose like pretty fun and exciting ones, especially after this long of sort of honing in on what his friends would enjoy rather than just tolerate.
So you want to roll that with?
I think fire.
Okay.
I'm so often wary to use my actual good skill, but this is exactly what it is:
Yeah.
creativity and passion. That is
That's
a 10.
that's a 10. So uh you can have one person take a bond, you can take a bond with someone if they give you permission, or you can have somebody clear an element first. Which do you want from that first pick?
I think I will take a bond with Bao Shi as I sort of come into to cover on his stumble there as he gets
Okay.
lost in his thoughts and emotions.
A-
I just sort of sweep it naturally into, of course, it's story time. We don't have to look at him anymore.
And then because it was 10 plus, if you had an element, you could clear it. But you could also either give someone a bond with you, or you could ask them a question.
I do think we should have more bonds. A little bit of extra wiggle room here at the end.
Okay. Who are you giving the bond to? Baoshi as well?
I think with Shaolin.
Okay.
I've finally I've gone through old notes and I've been asking other historians when I meet them, and I finally found a good story about another hero who uses boomerangs. It's almost impossible to find, but I found a good one. A lot of them are just like they did okay, and then they lost their boomerang.
All right.
Oh yeah. I will definitely ask questions about that, because now I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's where Pine got them. Like, if they were handed down from that person, or if the technique was handed down from that person.
It ends in a climactic scene where the like antagonist is on the other side of an impenetrable but not very wide wall that they keep staying exactly opposite the hero, and so it takes that curved shot to come out of nowhere.
So Shaolin, please record one bond with Baoshi, and not Cyril Bonsbrew.
Oh, Songda. See, we don't even know
Songda,
who
sorry,
I am.
Songda.
It's all my fault.
Lost Songs Deny.
Let's see here. So we have T and Baoshi. We have a story and Songda. I think what she does is she very much like as Baoshi makes the tea. She's the one that sort of sets the cups for other people. She's helping Baoshi, but not in his way, just sort of like the friend that's known you forever and knows exactly how you pour tea and when you're done with it. And when you're, essentially that, the next cup appears and another one's whisked away and that sort of thing in that way. When Songda is telling the stories, I think like we have the other guests around with us and everything. I think that, she is the one who gives up her seat for First Orchid. She is the one that sort of picks up a place, behind, so that like she can catch Songda's eyes and like very much be laughing at his story or enjoying it, and also watching and looking visibly at Shaolin with the boomerang story comes in and like laughing at it. Is that she is kind of the person who's circulating around everyone, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Doing the things that make the group feel like a group.
What do you want to roll that with?
I mean, probably water.
Okay.
That sort of awareness, I think.
Sure.
So that's 2d6. I'm going to add 2 to whatever I roll. Okay. So that's a 9.
9. So you could take a bond with someone, or you can clear someone's element.
This is a tough one. Though I have to say, Shaolin, you are in fairly decent shape. I'm not used to you having more than one element. I'm amazed. I do, however, think that it would probably be Baoshi that I would offer a little boost to. Essentially, if he would like to clear that wood.
Thank you.
And Then Chow Lin, what is it that you are doing in this cycle of comforting and supporting?
I think after Sung Das told his stories, I think I tell a story of my own. And it's just a summary of like stuff that this group has done. But it's like I'm like talking up each of them, the heroic exploits of, of each of the people that I remember, seeing them do, in a way that, like, viewed by a newcomer or an outsider, like, these are things I'm not just flattering. Like, these are things I actually honestly was impressed with, or impressed by, like, as a relative stranger at the time.
What do you want to roll that with?
uh ooh, let's go with fire.
Okay.
12.
That's a 12. So to start, you can take a bond with somebody else, or you can clear
Okay.
someone else's element.
Does anyone have an element left to clear?
No, I think
No.
not.
Okay. I will take a bond with someone else then. Probably Baoshi.
And then you can either clear an element yourself, or you can give someone else a bond with you. Looks like Baoshi is the one with the least number of bonds.
Yeah. But I think actually it's La Sangjinai.
Okay.
Because I think the thing that I have been like the most impressed by, like, just is her like curing the poisoning. It's like yeah. And then the great La Sangjinai brought a man back from the dead,
Absolutely. I do want to roll back just a second to Baoshi. You did have that 7 on the table. I don't know if you wanted to put that in your pocket or you wanted to use that for the comfort and support.
Let's just hang on to it.
Okay,
I
that
might
seems
need
fair.
it later.
Okay. So we have that round of all of you talking, relaxing, so on. There definitely is that you get a sense that First Orchid is there and is pleased to be amongst your company, but you also have the strong sense that First Orchid, that she strongly has someone that she misses, and that is kind of pulling at her. In a way that Duan Su doesn't. Like, you don't get any of that kind of reaction from her. And your other sort of mysterious person, 11th Hound, who is there, is kind of clearly not sure what to make of all of you. Not sure what how he should be reacting in all of this.
You should
But
drink some tea, that's what. So,
he seems unsettled by all of this. So I think we are going to cut forward to the next day, to give you all a chance to do another once around, either talking to a PC or calling a scene with an NPC, or looking for further information to flesh something out, or even looking for another clue to put on the table. I think that's all kind of what we're at here. So, Chaolin, I want to start with you here. What is it that you want to do? You had that conversation with the doctor last night. You kind of have a sense of how things are heading. What is it that we want to see you? What scene do we want to see you calling?
I have no idea. Can you come back to me?
I can absolutely do that. Bao Shi.
Well, let me gaze here upon our mystery at a spot that might um I think I want to go have a conversation with mm, uh let's try gee willikers, I'm having trouble thinking.
Sure.
I don't know who's going to what exactly I'm gonna dig out. Of most of these. I guess she may Ming Lang. Let's go have a conversation with him.
We'll head there. Again, we're back in the doctor's offices there. There are a couple of people getting treated. I think you're now kind of with what you picked up about Pearl Mist, kind of acutely aware that she's in the background, pretty much like uh, cautiously overhearing things, kind of stuff.
Because the doctor suspected her as a plant from his family, correct?
That is the indication that you got, is that he knows that that's the case, but he's being quiet about it.
I pulled that with my webs.
But the doctor will check in, see how you're doing it. Will say, I need to do my rounds here. I'll leave you to it.
Thank you.
And Jimmy Long is there. He is in that large barrel, essentially, with the medicines in there, that kind of steam coming off of it. And as you were there, kind of approach, he that does that kind of sleepy gunfighter, open his eyes and look, and he will say, I can feel the weight of your attention upon me, young man.
Yeah, well, this is all around been a very tense situation. And I fear that soon the cord may break. I was wondering if you would be willing to answer a few questions for me.
Yes, ask me what you will, and I will answer you.
I know that Wheelwright had coerced, I suppose would be the kindest way to say it, information from you, teachings from you.
As part of my bargain to provide for young Master Zhong Tai, I agreed to remain here, and I agreed to share a secret with Wheelwright over time. each year. I did not think I would be here as long as I have been. He
I
got,
would imagine. Yeah, okay.
as he said, he got the better of the bargain, I think.
Yeah. Yes, I imagine that was a common trait with those that he bargained with. I would not take it as a slight upon you and your abilities. Being such a secret thing, I can't imagine that he would do these conversations with you here. Where would you converse with him?
As you know, I am weakened by my condition, but I can be active for a few hours outside of this. And so I would go to the quiet place that Wheelwright had reserved. He had spaces around in the area that we could be alone in our training.
Hmm. Yeah, this may seem a strange question, but were they? Did you ever go underground?
No.
No. And during these conversations with him, did he happen to ever mention someone who was incarcerated that he had a concern about?
Let's have you make a study roll for me here, Baoshi.
Right. Um, I think. I think water.
Okay.
That's an 11.
That is an 11. So you have 2 hold to ask questions or gain a clue.
I've only got 1 bond, but I think I'm gonna spend it to get that 12.
Okay.
Um,
That gives you that 3 hold.
I'll drop that off of some card. Um, so with 3,
You can ask a question, make a declaration for 1 hold. You can gain a clue for 2 hold.
I think I want to gain a clue and associate it with a mystery facet.
Okay. Now,
Uh,
are you wanting to rewrite that facet? Because that's what the 3 hold is for, is actually changing the facet itself.
how do I add facet 4? Would that be the
That
same
would be
process?
that would be adding, you would provide us with a whole new facet. You can do that.
Okay, that's what I'm wanting to do.
Okay.
Do I declare what that facet is to kind of give you
So
color for the clue?
well, you get to kind of choose both here. So
Hmm.
like what do you think the facet is about? Let's figure that out. What is the
I
thing that this is dealing with?
the facet is the multiples are the multiple wheelwrights, the imposter wheelwrights.
So not couplicate, duplicate wheelwrights.
There we go.
And do you want to tell us what that clue is that is associated with that? Like come up with
Oh,
a
do
clue
I
for
get to
that?
tell? I
Yeah,
get to tell
you
the
can
clue.
tell us if you want. Yeah.
Um,
If you want, I can also give you the clue.
yeah, let's have you give me the clue.
Okay. I think he will say, I don't know much about these things, about exactly what was going on with Wheelwright, but I will tell you something that I have not told others, that I noted over the years that I ended up training with him, showing him my art. There were several instances when and you see him pause and think how to do this, how to say this. I do not think that Will Wright Tai, as I know him, was only a man or a woman. I would have said, if you were to ask me, that I was uncertain. And in fact, if I were to be pressed further, I would tell you that I believe that I encountered Will Wright Tai both as a man and as a woman. And often, more often than either of those, someplace else, an ambiguity and uh, a, a place in between.
Did you feel that this was a multitude contained in one? Or did it feel almost like separate people?
I would say, based on what I learned over time in my fighting and so on, that, as you have suggested, there were multiple wheelwrights of varying identities.
Thank you. That may be very helpful. And on a purely personal question, um, if given the opportunity, do you think it would be best for young young Zhang Tai to leave this place that he has known?
Yes, this is a place of villains. He should not be raised in such a place. They should not be raised in such a place.
I will see what I can do to perhaps free the young one.
And you see him pause and he will say, well, I appreciate you speaking with me. You did not ask the questions I expected.
Hmm.
Janai.
Yeah. Ah,
Who do you want to talk to? What is it that you want to do?
Babaushi, thank you. You asked the questions that I needed to confirm. But it has put me to think if I have to think of something. If you could give me just the short sprinkle of what.
And so, do you want me to do someone else first?
Yes, if that would be okay.
Song Da. Who would you like to talk to? What would you like to do?
So I would like to, I know we don't have to break into Wheelwright's chambers, but I would like to try and sneak into Wheelwright's chambers, give them another thorough search from top to bottom to make sure that I collect every writing, every note, every scrap of brushstroke about their ideas about the propaganda ministry. I want to collect it all and burn it.
All right. Uh, uh, let's have you make an overcome roll.
Yes. I recently took up my caution and focus and presence, so let's go with Earth.
Absolutely.
Should it be fire? I am burning them. No, I'm trying to be more careful, even though that's worse.
Absolutely.
Everyone keeps yelling at me. Ah, that's an 8.
8. So you will get these, you'll find the scraps of paper, the bits and pieces and things like that, and you will gather them together. These records, these precious records, these written pieces, these lore and history. Would you please now roll inner conflict for me before you set torch to paper?
Yeah, they're there with like the oil lamp with the spout just set to pour, and his hand just starts to shake.
What do you want to roll that with?
This is the place for fire. This is he believes so strongly in this. More strongly than, oh god, I'm shaping history. I'm getting rid of something that I don't want to see. It's fine. This is fine. I'm the right one. Fire. I am not the right one.
Wansu kicks the oil out of your hands. What are you doing? That's writing. That's paper, Songta. She looks at you askance. She looks down at you. The oil has been splattered. The papers are spread. She looks at you. She's like, what are you doing?
This is heresy. This is wrong.
This is knowledge. And she'll grab up some of the papers.
No, you don't understand what it is. Oh shoot. Gracious Wasp, they're poised to become a great leader, but they were so influenced by Wheelwright Tentai. If they saw even a word of this, it would cloud their judgment. It would overwrite their good sense. The world can't be trusted with some ideas.
And her face goes like she gets her face. It just goes shocking white. What are you saying? What?
If we were to allow people like the heads of these families to write the histories, to change the way that society viewed itself.
Historians tell the stories, all of them. That is what I have always been taught. Are you not a historian?
God, I just see Sister Lucian's face and hear her voice coming out of Duansu. I
Would you make the same
no, he's gonna
mistake?
turn and run. I can't. He's gone. Disappeared. Foosh. Lightness.
She will fold the papers up and looks around to make sure that no one else has overheard this, that no one else has heard what you said you were going to do. She puts it away quickly.
Oh God, I hate all of that. Am I marking fire?
Yeah.
I am going to take a bond with Duansu for my ashes of time, as she
Yeah.
has taught me more about being a historian than apparently I could call forward.
You also get to mark XP.
I was like, this is going to be the capstone moment for this. He's going to be so proud of himself, and it just instantly went terrible.
It caught fire is what you were going to say? Shaolin. What would you like to do?
Think of which one of these many characters I should talk to.
Sure.
Somebody needs to talk to Promist at some point.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you will wait for an opportune time when the doctor is away, when you have a chance to speak with her by herself there, as she's tending to wounds, and she greets you. Oh, Master Shaolin. I'm afraid that the good master is away right now.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I'm meaning to talk to you.
Oh, how can I help you?
Well, you know where my group is here for, right?
Investigating the murders.
Yeah. Yes, that. Well, it was originally just one murder, but they seem to be accumulating.
This is terrible.
I thought since you work here, you probably see the results of a lot of crimes.
I do my best to serve Master Neon and help take care of trouble and problems here.
And you might have opportunities to see things that he doesn't, or you might have the ability to see things that he doesn't.
Maybe,
You
but
seem
he's
like a very
very
observant
wise.
person.
I do try, but he's a very clever and noble man.
Yes, I think he is. I think you're right about that. But how long have you been here? Were you born in the valley, or?
I was an orphan on the road when I met Dr. Neon, and he took me in, and I was able to travel with him, helping him and learning parts and trying to be good. I think that I have hopes for what will come in the future, but I shouldn't speak of that. I I when the doctor was taken, I was brought along, and I have been able to stay and serve him since then.
Uh, I'm sure you've performed your duties very well.
Thank you.
It can't be easy here. I'm sure you must be very busy.
I am busy, but Dr. Neon is a great man, and I am blessed to be able to serve him.
Um, what was I actually going to ask her? There was something. Um, mhm. Uh, did do you remember Wheelwright Tentai ever coming here for injuries?
He, sorry, they were treated by the doctor for the ongoing wound that did not heal from the stab. I know that. But
Was that the leg injury or was
no,
oh
the
the
sword
yes
wound.
that injury, right?
And I know uh that there were other times that they were treated, but they kept they kept to themselves.
Um, so they did they get in fights with people here often?
Do you mean wheelwright?
Yes.
I do not think that in the time that I was here there was never a fight. It was always my impression that wheelwright's presence was enough to keep matters in check.
Uh, so any injuries they acquired were from just from
I
going elsewhere or
I certainly
accidents?
I certainly couldn't say.
Um,
See her start to kind of like she's trying to figure out what you're poking at now. You
yeah.
definitely see there's a little bit of a shift in her.
I am just randomly poking to see if I can get reactions from her, basically. I'm not, there's not a specific thing that I'm trying to trap her,
Sure.
it's more of a general, like, see what I can ask about that makes her nervous. Um, uh, let's see. Yes, I think that's just study. Not,
Okay.
don't think I have a specific move for that. Thought I did, but I don't.
What do you want to roll that with?
Uh, I think metal.
Okay.
This is calculated. Random, but still calculated.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair.
Oh, no. um, that did not go super well. Let's see.
So that is a 5.
Yeah, I do have. I'm gonna burn this bond with Bao Shi.
Burn a couple bonds.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah. So if you burn 2 bonds, you'll have 1 hold, which means you can make a declaration about what you find or ask a question.
oh wait, actually, I have shadows still, don't I? I still
Yeah,
have some
you could
shadows.
bump that up.
That's better. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a shadow.
So same thing.
Uh, yeah.
Declaration or question.
Um, Okay. I'm not sure if this is overstepping my bounds,
Please.
but I'm going to say she knows there's more than one wheelwright hentai. And she knows, or at least thinks she knows who one of them is.
I will say let's I'll give you that first part. Like, I
Okay.
think as you're talking, as you're speaking, as you're poking around, I think you will come to realize that very unusually, like this is a thing that other people don't seem to know, but Pearl definitely seems to know that there is more than one real right, like has that information. And that is a striking fact in and of itself. Does that seem fair to put it that
Yeah.
way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if I get her talking about the details about the injuries, I think it's like it's clear that those are different people and that she
Yeah.
can't possibly not realize that.
Yeah, and Pearl will roll back, and eventually go and try to be incredibly vacuous and light to avoid further conversation. Shania.
Okay. I'm going to speak to 11th Hound.
Okay.
You seem very tense.
I am very tense. The Bad Valley. I don't know what's going on. There are conversations happening that are way up. I don't follow what's happening. You all vanished for a while and you came back, and some of you had poisons and wounds, and I don't understand this. I'm used to being I'm used to being the Dark Hunter, leading the pack, moving through the shadows. Here I'm this guy who has to sit around and wait for all of you to come back, and it's I feel a little insecure.
Oh, well, I actually need your expertise.
Oh, thank God.
Yes. So,
yes.
And I think that she will go. Do you want me to explain what's going on, or would you prefer to leave Bad Valley with the ability to say, I have no idea what happened. I just stumbled in and then I stumbled out. I'm going to give you the choice.
Oh. Put me in a very difficult position there. Would you think any less of me if I said to you, maybe I don't want to know all the details?
I think it makes complete sense. Does that make any sense? So I'm going to ask you 2 questions.
All right.
Probably none of these have anything to do with this place.
Okay.
All right. Have you ever heard of the lady bandit, Silverblade? She's supposed to be notorious.
Do you mean Lady Silkwind? Sure.
Oh, that's what I mean. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought I wrote it down wrong. So
yes. It's quite a bounty out on her. She led, is my understanding. I don't know if she still leads or if she's still alive, a band of outlaws and brigands. It's said that she was raised as a pirate.
Interesting. I have no idea what that entails, except being able to deal with boats.
That is my impression. There's a lot of swimming involved.
Ugh. I mean, I'm good at it, but what a mess. So, have you heard anything about her having children?
Yes, I had heard that she had triplets.
Thank you. I just needed someone to corroborate that. So it just sort of looks at some papers and then looks at them and says, "Have you heard anything about an escape from the Emperor's dungeons?" And I will name the place, the sort of black hole of Calcutta place that we had the notes on.
Yes, but you've already asked about that.
I'd asked him about that.
He's that's what he says. He goes, I mean, that was Lady Silkwind's escape.
Wait, say that again.
You asked about that. That was Lady Silkwind's. I thought that's what you're talking about. Lady Silkwind's escape.
She
She gave
escaped from
birth.
there.
Gave birth in the prison.
I didn't know that was who it was.
Yes, she gave birth in the prison and then managed to escape, taking the children with her.
Fascinating.
But after that, after I heard some reports of her fighting with her children, strapped to her, I heard no more reports about her. I had assumed that she had either given up her life as a pirate or had passed away.
Very interesting. Completely changes everything.
Does it?
Maybe. It certainly opens up some possibilities. You don't need to know though, because you've
I'm
merely
not going to.
stumbled in.
I'm not
and
going to
then
think
you'll
about it.
stumble up. Exactly. Do not think about it at all. I'm just glad you're here. It's sort of amusing to have someone that I didn't expect here.
That's good.
And she goes, I guess I have one more question.
All right.
Who put the bounty on Songbird Jim?
You put me in a difficult position here.
It's important.
See him pause and he stops and he goes, Master Zhaijing.
Master Zhaijing was who sent me here.
He was the one who put the bounty and directed me towards here.
He sent you here.
Yes. He did not tell me that it was Bad Valley, but he probably didn't know. I can only assume he is a good and noble man, a good friend to Bao Shi and such.
I wonder.
All right. I'm going to not think about that either.
You probably shouldn't.
Okay.
All right.
Let's take our first break here. Let's take 10 and then we'll come back. So we are at a position where we can start talking about solving the mystery, if that sounds good with folks. What I'd like to do is, as the GM, go over a little bit of what's going on in terms of what we have in terms of NPCs and what we know and so on. And then I want to, if there are things people want to say before we kind of go to that process, we'll do that. But we know here that you are in Bad Valley. We know that the members of Bad Valley appear to be villains, but to a certain extent, many of them are using that as cover for other activities. It is clear, however, that their adherence to that varies from person to person, and there are other ambitions and intentions and things like that. And as you discovered, there are other secrets being hidden in Bad Valley. We have Wheelwright Tantai, who there were multiples of them, at least 2, maybe more. And now that that they might have other identities out here, and they could be literally anyone, given what you know now with the techniques and gender thing being open. Gracious Wasp is the person who's brought you in. You know that there was a point at which they lost a sibling, and after that, their parents' attitude changed towards them. In terms of our three families, we have the Rue clan, with the married couple who clearly have some issues and maybe some suspicions that maybe Rue Gang is fooling around outside of that marriage, or maybe pretending to, or maybe that's what he's into, is getting accusations from the wife. It's unclear, but regardless, they brought Rue Nian back, the doctor. They forced him to come back. They kidnapped him and brought him back. And Pearl Mist, by whoever's intention, is the person who has been used as a token to keep the doctor in line. You know that the Rue clan, I just want to check one thing here about my details. That the Rue clan is the one that has the forlorn bone technique, the bone breaking technique. The second clan is the Shao clan, whose leader is dead, was our second murder victim. The two children of that clan, Chao Fu and Chao Da, Xiao De Fu, Chao Da, at least Xiao Dagu doesn't seem to want to be in charge of the clan. However, Xiao Dagu's bride, Blossom Devouring Guardian, would very much like to be in position of power. You know that they practice what is called the Black Magic Blade style, which involves the use of chemicals and poultices and mind-altering stuff and poisons and so on. And that particular set of things apparently over the long term has very bad consequences for you. Like it's toxic over the long haul. Certainly Xiao Wuji, before he was killed, was already showing signs of deterioration. Next is the Jun family, Nighthawk Jun as leader, and then the two sisters, Stormcrane and Thornbird, and of course, Songbird Jun. The Jun family, they are masters of poisons. Their sort of signature technique is the delivery of those poisons through the use of different animals, insects, bugs, and so on. But even outside of that, they are skilled with poisons. There was another member of that Jun family. They are no longer with us. That is Laughter and Flame Priest.
Oh, so they're officially gone, are they?
Oh, I have marked them as dead.
Oh, right. Well, there you go.
Yes. So they might be the killer, but they are already dead. Just to put that out there. And
They might also be Wheelwright Tantai. We don't
know.
Could be.
In terms of other people that are kind of important, we have the mysterious sword hero who was poisoned and injured, who has been treated over the years. He can get out and act for a time, but he's been treated here, who has some reason to despise Wheelwright Tantai. His exact background, real story behind how he came here is uncertain, but it is known that he brought a child with him, that child being Song Tai, and apparently has reason to protect that child. The suspicion, I think the story that you got was that that Zong is the child of one of his friends, and that Ming Long failed to save them. So he's been here. And of course, then you've got Zong Tai, the young man, who is also there. I think those are most of the crucial suspicious folks that we have on the table. There are some other characters, but they are more friendly NPCs and so on. So are there any questions, anything you want me to clarify before we go into this?
Are there any questions?
Yeah.
The timeline.
Yeah.
When was this prison break that Lady Silkwind escaped? And was that like last year or many years ago?
That was a couple of years ago.
Oh, oh, oh.
So the triplets would still be children.
The triplets would still be children, yes.
Eh.
And
Are there any tots in the village that we've seen?
well, that will depend on how you want to decide the mystery, won't it?
Okay.
I don't want to. That's a piece of concrete thing. Again, remember, with all of this, you have the right to set up things, to establish things in your solution to make the pieces fit. You are the GM doing the reincorporation here, and you may establish facts not in evidence. That is always a possibility in doing these solutions.
Right.
Okay. So we are going to look at our mystery map here. We have 4 facets. Ideally, we get at least 1 clue associated with each facet, but multiple clues can be associated with the same facet here. We have the death of Wu Right Tan Tai, like that, the big question about that. And then sort of secondary to that, we have the murder of Xiao Wuji. Like, why did that happen? What was going on with that? And then we have the secrets of Bad Valley. You've already learned some of those things. And that may go to motive, it may go to means, all of those kinds of things. And then we have the pieces that you've all put together over time now, the idea about these duplicate wheelwrights, what's going on with them, how this works. So we are going to go Chow, Bao, Zhenai, Song is how we're going to go around here. So Chow Lin, we have 13 clues on the table. Would you like to associate one of those with a particular facet?
There's 2 of them that I kind of mentally tying together here. I don't know which facet or which one to take here.
And again, remember with the clues, you can take them and elaborate on them. You could say, like, this isn't the first jailbreak. Maybe this is only the most recent jailbreak. Those kinds of things. You can play with all of that kind of stuff.
Okay, since this is definitely a Shao Clan thing, I would like to say the dead secret operative of the Shao Clan who died from inhaling strange smoke, was working for what was her name? Blossom Devouring Guardian.
Okay. So dead operative was working with Blossom Devouring. Okay.
Yes.
Does that associate them with the murder of Xiao Wuji or with Wu Right Tan Tai or something else?
That associates them with the murder of one of the Wheelwright Tan Tais.
Okay. So we'll put that the death of Wheelwright Tan Tai, or do you want that to put that with duplicate wheelwrights?
Probably
Probably just the murder.
Yeah.
So there's a reason. We know that Blossom Devour and Guardian, they had this agent. There's some connection there. We're
Right.
going to build that up over time.
Yes, they died from inhaling that strange smoke that they were, using.
Absolutely.
On her behalf.
So we'll check that there. Bao Shi. We have 11 more clues to associate.
Wheelwright Tentai's predecessor was buried with a second unknown body.
Okay.
I'm going to associate that with duplicate wheelwrights and say that twins, triplets run in the family. I think we've got a family that has a penchant for that sort of thing.
A family penchant, perhaps multiple different bloodlines, like there may be several different things, but we've got people that have these that have a predilection to those, and our particular duplicate wheelwright is not the first time this has happened, and this is a historical thing. A device
twin is a requirement.
Yeah, a device at Bad Valley. It goes to some other information that you've picked up before, particularly about Wasp being kind of not taken seriously after a certain point when their very close sibling passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Lost Song Janai.
Well, it kind of makes sense that I think one of the things that's striking is the Tantai's absent cousin was a Franc that Gracious Wasp stumbled onto. And this person who looked a lot like Tantai was introduced as a cousin and given essentially no explanation or whatever. So it's definitely a secret. And I do think that it's also but here I'm going to say it is the duplicate wheelwrights. It is that, but it's that whole duplicate thing is a secret of Black Valley. And in fact, we better keep it secret.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
I think that makes sense. Like those are closely related. It tied together. That is one of the things that was hidden that Wasp didn't know. Part of the modus operandi for Wheelwright Tantai clearly operated that there were several of them, at least two, maybe more. If there are more than two, then there's at least one wheelwright that's still alive, maybe, and in a guy somewhere around here. Song Da.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna go a little deep with this one.
Sure.
So I had been thinking, and we're building up this idea that the wheelwrights Tantai and their predecessors even were working as a sort of like group project, which is great for never being able to be caught, for showing up in unexpected places, for having your grip be undeniable. But like you said, once Wasp's sibling died, they had lost that big chunk. I think the wheelwrights is more than two. I think it was twins or triplets and also an identical cousin sort of situation. Like they had a good group of wheelwrights. That's why they were so effective. And Wasp lost their sibling. They don't have any good cousins, that sort of thing. So I'm going at, this is all just background.
Sure.
I'm going at the jailbreak.
Okay.
The notes for the jailbreak. I think the notes for the jailbreak were like the plan was started and formulated by a wheelwright who had taken the fall for them at one point, who was in this horrible prison. But while there, had seen this set of triplets, knew this woman with a new generation.
Or even let me suggest this, to begin, met this woman and had an affair with her in the prison.
Yes.
And
And wrote out, I have found the way, we've got our next generation, here's the plans, get us out. But the plan from the other wheelwrights was that breaking out too many people would cause suspicion on them, so the wheelwright in jail got left behind.
oh, so when that break happened a couple of years ago, one of the wheelwrights got abandoned and knew that they got abandoned.
Yep. They had started this plan. They had succeeded at securing the next generation, but then got left behind again as a sacrifice.
So duplicate wheelwrights for that one, right?
Yes.
Okay. I like it.
Sorry, that was a lot.
I think that's great. I think that pulls together a lot of the threads. I think that's really interesting. It gives us a potential murderer there in some way.
And also gives us another wheelwright.
Yeah.
Yes, so many wheelwrights. My brain has been trying to turn every dead body and half the NPCs into wheelwrights this whole time.
Well, and if the murder was here already and that wheelwright broke out just recently, maybe they're one of the ones that you found. We don't know. We'll figure that out here. Shaolin.
Will we ever?
We will. Shaolin. What do you want to associate another one of these facets to? Again, some of this may be cleanup since we have made it, but let's get them all in place.
Okay, I'll just take the other half of the one I started with.
Sure.
Yeah, so the lamp oil tampered with in the underground chamber was tampered with by the person who died from inhaling it. They were not careful enough, decided to test it or something, and yeah, eventually died from inhaling it, meaning that they were sent to kill a wheelwright Tentai by Blossom Devouring Guardian.
Okay, so Blossom Devouring Guardian behind that. Okay. So look, but that was the death of Wheelwright Tantai.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just head of clan she wants for her husband.
Bao Shi.
Okay. Trying to see something that connects where I wanted to. All right, I think I'm gonna just go with this.
Okay.
The died within the last 24 hours. Tentai, the interior shoe is odd, a wound their leg previously had forced them to work around. I'm putting it in there. I'm adding it to duplicate wheelwrights.
Okay.
Because I think that the wound and what we're finding, this is the escaped wheelwright who had come back seeking either come up, to reestablish or some sort of vengeance, and had and the injury was in the process of escaping when they had gotten out.
Yeah.
And had met their doom. Apparently, with Blossom being a part of that, perhaps working with a wheelwright to reinforce their clan takeover.
Here's the thing. Yeah. The possibility exists, quite honestly, given what you know, that Blossom is a wheelwright, is the
That's
third
fair.
wheelwright.
That's very possible. Yes.
So we have a dead original the wheelwright we think that is Wasp's parent, and then we have this escapee that got back, made contact with someone, Blossom Devouring Guardian, clearly some connection there, and got killed. Okay, I like it. Shania.
I'm gonna go with a beautiful compass fit for an emperor, but useful to a pirate, isn't it? I wonder if what we've got here is Lady Silkbind.
Like her
What if-
dowry of some kind?
I think that it might have been something to like as a gift, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kind of wonder if I want to say that it might be that she is devouring blossom.
Ooh. So not a wheelwright, but the problem is that
No.
that timeline doesn't quite match up with what we know about Blossom being here for several years.
Well, Blossom's been here for several years. You said the kids were a couple of years. So when's our time frame for the for Lady Silkbind then?
Would be she would have, if she was here, she would have only arrived here a couple of years ago.
Okay. Okay, so she arrived here a couple of years ago, and then Devouring Blossom arrived here when?
Well, actually, now that I think about it, we haven't established that. So we could certainly loop those together if you want.
I was
They
just
don't have
thinking
any
it was-
kids to establish how long she's been here, and
I think that's
married
why
or
she wants
whatever.
to kill the other wheelwrights, is to get her kids back.
So there's some kids that have been taken from her
Yeah.
by agents of wheelwright. She managed to infiltrate here. Okay. So what facet?
No,
okay.
I didn't say infiltrate. Well, I guess what I was thinking
Okay,
is
let's roll back here. Let's roll
Okay,
back
I'm
here.
sorry.
So I have a suggestion, Sherry.
Okay.
So we have Lady Silkwind. We have triplets possibly being taken away. We have that like weird face changing needle technique. What if Blossom Devouring is dead, has been for a while, and that's Silkwind working to try and get
her
close and
appearance.
Yeah. Okay.
So how would you like to play this, Sherry? Has Blossom Devouring Guardian always been Silkwind? Has she been replaced by Silkwind or something else?
Yeah. So how I saw it is the Tantais freed her from the Black Quarry, right? And brought
Okay.
her back, but not her lover. Though they all kind of had the look of that.
The other
And they're like,
wheelwright.
yeah, the wheelwrights, right? So
Okay.
and so she had her kids and stuff, but they like keep the kids away from everyone, so no one can know until they reach a certain age, and then they'll have to act like they're only one person, just like the other Tontides did, right? Okay, so we have this whole thing is that she's in that, and one of her and what I was thinking is that compass was hers, or that was given to her as a gift. Okay,
So what's
that's
her
what I've got.
connection with Blossom Devouring Guardian then?
Is that when it was to give her, it was one of her Tantai roles, in the sense of like working with them. She became, that was her.
So they brought her
herself.
here. They gave her this identity. They married her off to Shao.
Shao.
Okay.
Yes.
And the kids are somewhere kept away from her so they can do this so no one would see them and so on.
Yes, that was what I was
Okay.
trying to say.
All right.
I'm sorry.
No, perfect.
no.
So what facet do you want to associate that with?
I think that this is really going to go the death of Wheelwright Tantai.
Okay, that seems fair. It does mean that there's still the possibility. We know that there have been at least a couple of wheelwrights, so we know that there's a possibility of being another wheelwright out there.
Exactly.
Or not. That possibility is still open. Song Da. We know we have Blossom Devouring Guardian at the heart of this. Her manipulations, she poisoned Bao Shi. She's at least had affairs with a couple of different people. She's been involved in all these things. She's behind the murder of Jailbreak Wheelwright. That's what we're going to call him. Jailbreak Wheelwright.
Who is the one we found
in the basement.
incense. Yeah. In the basement.
Who is the father of her kids, right?
Yep.
who is the father
Yeah.
of her kids.
Okay.
So maybe she killed the wrong Tantai, the one she didn't want
Oof.
to kill.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know that yet.
Oops.
Well, that's a whole speculation. Song Da.
Lord.
That's a tragedy. That's a comedy.
Let me ask you this, Song Da. Let's have you solve. Let me ask you this. Is there a third wheelwright, do you think?
I think there would have to be.
Okay, so there's third wheelwright. So let's consider that in thinking about it. So what we'll put that out there. We know that's a thing we're establishing in our solution. So what of the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 facets do you want to associate? Some of those, as I said, will be cleaned up.
Let's go with Chawuji.
Okay.
And this sort of is the this is where I'm seeing a third Tantai
Sure.
in that space between one Tantai dying and the jailbreak Tantai showing up.
Uh-huh.
This third one like retreated into hiding in the secret tunnels, which is where Chawuji had started finding his way to like nick shipments and find an extra supply cache for his habit. He was down there and saw a Tantai that shouldn't be alive.
Excellent. So we'll associate that addiction and that driving him down to search desperately for those things led to his murder, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
then that one that was hiding in the tunnels there is probably the one who set up the poison oil for jailbreak.
Well, we know that's just that we've already established that it was Blossom that did that.
Oh, right.
But maybe they were the intended target.
Oh, nice. Yes.
There's some interesting
Oh, like he
things.
told her about
Oh.
it or mentioned it in
Wheelwright.
passing, and she's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that gotta kill him."
Yeah, Wheelwright too had tipped his hand of still being around with that murder of Chawuji.
Yeah.
So
And
Wheelwright
she sets up
Prime,
a thing to get him.
Wheelwright 2, and Jailbreak Wheelwright.
Yes.
Yes.
For the moment.
For the moment. So right now, we know that
You're right.
that a killer is Blossom Devouring Guardian, but Wheelwright 2 is also a killer. We don't know
We're gonna call him Child Care Tantai.
who Wheelwright 2 is. Like that is a question here. Chow Lin. We have 4 left to associate here.
Yeah. All right.
Oh God, I just realized who Wheelwright 2 is.
Actually, I was going to suggest that one, but maybe
no.
I don't know.
like I figured out a possible solution, but
Okay.
there are many of them. Go ahead.
There are many of them, and I was like, okay, which one of these people? So I'm going to take Wheelwright's room, outfits, and chess set. And I'm going to say that Nighthawk June is a very good chess player. And some of the clothes down there would definitely fit him. And that he was a third Wheelwright Tantai.
Okay, so
there may be a fourth. I don't know.
Well, let's not say a fourth. Let's stick to this. Like our second Wheelwright, our one who would take the place of our Wheelwright Prime from time to time, disguising themselves as a head of the family. We've seen them act strangely in several cases.
Mhm.
Bao Shi certainly saw them react badly when some of the things were revealed there. Like
Yeah, when
that,
secrets are revealed around
yeah,
him, he doesn't
he
take that
doesn't
well.
doesn't like that.
He's
And
a little
so,
paranoid.
all right. And so we're going to associate that with the duplicate wheelwrights.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're
So
gonna
then we're saying
say,
Nighthawk is
Nighthawk,
Tantai too?
Nighthawk is Tantai too. He is the one who is in
Okay,
the
love
present
it.
time been, flipping back and forth with the other wheelwright.
Yeah. He looks the least like them, so he doesn't probably is what was
Yeah.
That's obviously a
Wheelwright the
fake
least
beard.
often of any of them.
So what I'm hearing is Blossom Devouring Guardian killed Wheelwright Prime and set off this set of things. And then Shao saw Wheelwright 2. I saw that Hawk June, taking on that appearance, told that to Blossom Devouring Guardian. Blossom Devouring Guardian tried to kill the Tantai and managed to kill our jailbreak Tantai who had just escaped.
Yeah.
tragedy.
Tragedy. Doesn't know that she killed her lover.
Right.
Ooh, that got dark. I like it. Bao Shi.
All right. I think that Wheelwright Prime, first death, Wheelwright,
Okay.
had decided that it was time now. The things had been established sufficiently. The only real loose thread at this point is Blossom. And so had promised a massive payout. She was just going to take off, disappear. You take the gold, start your life anew. But Blossom had other intentions. And I think that our prime wheelwright is biologically female, which is what necessitated the full line coverage and everything that would destroy bones that would identify that. And I'm
Nice.
putting the gold box there with all the teals. That was the bribe, but it was hidden until the deal was done. It's why Blossoms didn't take it and why it was still there.
Perfect. So Death of Wheelwright Tantai for that one. Sherry, we've got the machinery and the acupuncture. The two left of our kind of cleanup. We kind of know where one of them falls in. The other one, what do you want? Which one do you want to associate?
Oh, the piece of machinery, I think. And I want to say that that it's the Secrets of Bad Valley, is what I'm going to associate it with. But I think that it actually points to where the children are, is one of its things, is that the people who are taking care of the children are like, this is how they keep in touch with the Tantais.
Like they may be outside of Bat Valley,
Mm-hmm.
but within range for this device to communicate with. Okay, I like that. Excellent. And then Patrick, the acupuncture needles to change appearance. We kind of know where that falls in. Anything else you want to say about that? Where do you want to associate it facet wise?
A number of things, but I think it would fall under the Secrets of Bad Valley. In that I think there was something that Song Da, one of those books that he was flipping through, that is where they learn this technique.
The medical journal?
Yeah. Either them or their predecessor or someone further back. But this is out of the vault of forbidden and lost techniques. And I think it must have been Blossom, not one of the Tantais, because I think whoever was Wasp's real parent. I think they all had a great fondness for them. So Blossom has been actively trying to bury that secret again so that Wasp wouldn't learn a valid technique to continue on with the duplication, knowing this technique could save their leadership here because they could get people who just looked close and really make it.
They
But
needed to
Blossom
eliminate.
wanted to
Yeah,
assure that it was her triplets, that it was her children that were going to be the next gen.
nice.
Patrick, may I perhaps
Yeah. What?
within this, do we think that as a secret of Bad Valley, the leadership has always been multiples, and that was the proto ability, and as they learned, getting tighter and tighter family, triplets, twins, but in the original, it was just kind of working off of similarities that you could then acupuncture into looking closer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
I like it. All right. So, Blossom Devouring Guardian is, in fact, Silkwind Child taken away. She came here. She has taken up this position. She was married off to kind of tie her in to this position. It explains why she has been working so hard to manipulate powerful people throughout the valley. Wheelwright Tantai intended to buy her off, but she forestalled that, killed Wheelwright, and destroyed the body to cover evidence of Wheelwright's duplicate nature. Maybe not realizing that there was a Wheelwright still in the ranks, not realizing that Nighthawk June was the other Wheelwright. So when Shao came to her and told her that there was another Wheelwright walking around, she caught her people and moved to kill that Wheelwright. Unfortunately, in a convenient, dramatic, tragic twist, killed her own lover who had made his way back, and dealt and dispatched him. All right. So
How
we've
does
got
that make
We
so
have-
much sense?
Kind of one primary murderer, but we also have a Tentai who's a bit of an issue.
yes, we do. So let us come to that, because that Tantai did kill Xiao Wuji.
Yeah.
All right. So you have a +3. I am going to roll 2d6 +3 rather than making you be the instrument of your own demise.
Great, you're gonna demise us.
All right. So here's me rolling 2d6 +3. That is a 12.
We are the best.
We're right.
How?
So you have set this up. You have gathered the heads together, gathered the important people together. You've made sure that the entourages are not present, but the members of the family are, right?
Mhm.
And you've done some setup to that. So you may feel free at any point when we're describing to flash back to say what you've done in terms of preparations. And there is that gathering. So we would see the Doctor and Wasp and even Ji Mingling there, and we see the Rue family with the Doctor. We see,
Well,
yes.
we also, with the 12, we get to declare an additional bit of truth.
It's a correct solution. The keeper will present an opportunity to take down the culprit, otherwise save the day. And it's a
And then
correct
12
solution.
plus.
Yeah, and that would be if we still had the stuff about the greater conspiracy stuff.
Okay.
That's an artifact thing. But if there's something you want to declare here, in terms of the
I
setup,
was
you're welcome
thinking
to.
just to pitch it out and see if folks agree with this. Um, I think we figure out the kids are being held by Mr. Merchanty guy that's supposedly my benefactor, but isn't really, and has been dealing with Bad Valley all this time. Because we heard he was dealing with Bad Valley, or the
So-
camera showed him dealing with Bad Camera.
Right.
Valley.
So the mayor is perhaps, maybe not directly, but his people are caretaking for those children, let us say. That seems like a fair thing to
Probably
establish.
figured out from the machine something that would give us a clue in that.
Absolutely. Maybe you saw one of these devices in his household, Bao-Shi, when you were visiting. But we see the groups gathered there. And what do you reveal first? Do you reveal Nighthawk Jun's identity as a Tantai? Or do you reveal Blossom as the killer?
Don't think that we identify Jun as the Tantai, because in some ways we need the Tantai to remain.
Okay.
And that, like, we say he's the one that killed Q, but we act like we don't know who he is, but we know he exists. But we've told June that we know who he is. Does that make any sense? So we don't get any
Nighthawk
shit
Jun
from him.
realizes that you know,
Mhm.
but that you're not saying.
Right.
Now, I'll say, me personally, like, I am inclined to try and push and support Wasp in every way that we can, but how do other people feel about that?
I'm sort of behind that as well.
Okay, so does
Yeah,
that
no,
mean
I
that
think
you
I think
want
that plays off of what
Yeah.
we're about to
Yeah.
do. I
So,
think
so that means
is,
there are some of these secrets that, yeah, we should keep in this.
I think with that 10 plus, there is that bit where you pull back the curtain, you do that reveal, and she looks up and she says, I knew I should have killed you when I had the chance, Bao-Shi.
I've heard that before.
I did this for my children. I did this for my family. I did this so I would not be used as an instrument and thrown away by Bad Valley. And I would do it again. And yeah, I think you could see that Xiao Wuda is kind of shocked. But he and his sister will kind of lay their hands on her and move to cuff her. And they will lock her down. Chi points and bars and so on. And you will see them look at Wasp. And Wasp will say, Master Bao-Shi, Lao Song Shanai, Shaolin, historian Song Da. And you see some people around are like, what? There's a historian here?
I turned to Tuan Su and gasped.
I do not wish to continue the failures of my parent, decisions that were made without consultation. What do you think I should do with this one? She has murdered my father, my parent. She has killed, though accidentally, her own lover. But she has also done these things to protect her children.
We bought a second to consult each other.
Yeah, and we'll
Yeah.
flash back like you.
Yeah,
This
like
is something
before we
maybe that
Yeah,
you expect. We
yeah.
could cut back to a conversation, but before this.
And Schnei says, what the Tantais have done previously has worked, but it has been heavy-handed and hard. If the families wish to continue with the protections of Black Valley, they could do that working together with a leader who breaks, who decides, who is the one that makes them work through the problems. But if they let themselves be hired out, they become pawns, and pretty soon they aren't a clan or a family anymore. They're just a bunch of assassins for the powerful. There. In the Wulin, they become dirt.
I fear that Master Jude will make a move on Wasp if there's not something to restrain him. But as for Blossoms, I understand a mother's desire to keep her children from falling into this life. That does not mean that she has not committed heinous crimes. But she was already imprisoned. I suggest, as a thought, she be returned to prison. But the children should be liberated from this fate.
Revealing revealing her children and that there are 3 of them takes well, that ruins her plan right there.
What do you mean?
Well, if her plan was to replace Tantai and then Wasp with her children as the new leader, the point of they've been multiple, but that's always been a secret.
Yes. I see what
This
you're
wouldn't
saying.
be secret anymore, so there would be no point in it, in making them the leader. So everyone already knows there are 3 of them.
Yes, so it wouldn't make sense to like put her in prison and leave the children there, and then with the thing that they become Tantai is what you're saying. That they would become the next wheelwrights, correct?
Right, this is like just
They just
revealing the
can't.
fact
It's
that there
another
are 3 of them removes that possibility.
Exactly. So um so
So that's kind of
I-
what you pass on to
okay.
Wasp. Is that what? Well, right? That's what you're saying. Kind of.
That there are 3 of them and suggesting she's sent back to prison? Is that our...
I'm a little uncertain about that because but
I mean,
sure.
otherwise she's going to get killed. Which do we think that she
Or,
should be killed for this?
Keep killing.
Yeah. Kill or keep killing it or whatever.
She
until
seems like a
gets her
very
children.
dangerous person to just let her poison her way across the land. She was a bandit before.
So I think that just make this appeal about the children surviving, about the change that's coming up, and so on, and Wasp will say, there is a place for those people of power I know of that is as much a retreat as it is a prison, and a chance for Blossom to find redemption. If you suggest that, I will have her taken there with the promise to her, and Wasp will look at Blossom, that your children will be taken care of and raised as my family, and the doctor will say as my family, and others will nod along and will say they will be raised and given choice and given opportunity, and if they wish to stay in Bad Valley, they may do that. If they wish to go elsewhere, they will be allowed to do that, but they will be kept safe. And that will be a bond on your good behavior, Blossom. And she will nod and bow her head and agree. And there would be much discussion, but I think we cut forward to the four of you in a private consultation with the last Tantai. So, detectives, you know my secret,
Indeed.
and you have uncovered other malfeasance in my own household and saved me from grave mistakes. I will admit that I had pushed my sibling hard in carrying out, making the June family my own little fiefdom, and difficulties with the puzzle swords and so on that we had caused over these last few years. But you have saved my children from death. You have saved my son, and you have saved both my daughters, one of whom would undoubtedly have taken the blame for what happened, and the other who would have blamed themselves for not seeing it. What do you want me to do to repay this debt that I owe to you?
There is a difference in the histories, the long histories of our land, between evil clans and unorthodox ones. There are shadows and dark places in this world where heroism cannot always reach, but heroic things still need to be done, even if they are dark or bloody. There's a place in history for those people. That's what the families of Bad Valley could be. But you wheelwrights and your predecessors before you have been interfering, causing chaos, leading these families off of their true purpose, inserting yourselves into their clans and muddying their purpose. Bad Valley could redeem itself, find a place in this world and in the minds of its people that is not as dark and hopeless as what it is now. It could be a place of honor, even if that honor must remain hidden.
I think that you are right. For too long, we have tried to hide and destroy our histories, trying to hide, destroy what has been before us to keep these things a secret, and that has been to our detriment.
Believe that Wasp has a heart that could lead this valley to that more glorious future. They will need guidance from an experienced hand, but not rulership from it.
I have failed by not listening and mistrusting this younger generation. My own children, and then gestures to all of you, and all of you, quite honestly. I will give my support to WASP. I will provide advice should they ask for it, should they desire it, but I will not drive things. I will work to clean up my own house and keep Bad Valley as a sinister legend that fights against evil. So people think us evil.
Looking around to see if everyone is in agreement with what this is. That would seem all that we could ask.
And he'll look at you, Shaolin, and he will say, I will make sure that Dr. Neon can come and go as he pleases.
You and the same for Zhang Tai. That's yes, the kid.
Yes. I will also give the doctor the antidote to Ji Ming Liang's condition. Provided that all of you agree to never say where that came from.
Absolutely.
Right hand eye is dead. How could a ghost do anything to help anyone?
Master Song Da, I hope that you will be circumspect in your recording of these histories.
I have a lot to consider on that front.
I would not ask you to lie, but I would ask that you be cautious about what truths you do give out.
I think my first step should be better understanding the truths and histories behind all of the shadows of Bad Valley and its clans. And that may take many years in and of itself.
And I think we cut to beautiful daylight outside and all of you on horseback, and with you Duansu and 11th Hound, and Songbird June there in his full family regalia, kind of standing back, kind of looking at you, Baoshi, probably standing close by your horse. First Orchid also, of course, on horseback, and Gracious Wasp and everyone from Bad Valley are there, and they will all, raise their hands and bow to you. And Gracious Wasp will come, up to your horse, all of you, and will say, I have filled your saddlebags with wealth. It is yours to do with as you wish. Give away, use for yourselves, whatever. I hope that you will think well on Master Zhaijing, as he is the one who helped me bring you here. And it is only through him that you came and were able to save us all. As I promised, the full resources of Bad Valley are at all of your disposals at any time. You have only to call on us. In that cart is one of the devices that will go with you. Should you need to send word to us, we will come.
Thank you. And this wealth may assist at least me in something that is percolating in my mind. And I'll kind of reach into my sleeve and hand down a little, very small written wrap thing to Wasp to open up. I believe that there needs to be more who go and find the truth, who look into dark places and bring the light. And as they unroll it, the scroll, there's a symbol of, it's not work, but you can see where the dot in the center is pulled back. And written on it is Jie Kai. It's on my character sheet, but Jiekai, Shekai, the Unraveled Dot Society.
Very nice.
And that's what I'm going to try and start formulating. That's my plan for my new society of detectives.
And Shaolin, the doctor will come over to your horse and he will say, I hope to be traveling out to the city in a few weeks. May I call upon you?
Yes, of course. I'll be delighted to see you.
It has been some years since I have been out. I hope that that we will perhaps have a drink, and perhaps if she is still in your company, the woman you told me of, the Sister Lushang, you could introduce me.
I hope so.
And Janai, 11th Hound, is kind of looking, he's still like baffled about what's going on, but looking around. And you see him about to like turn to say something to you meaningful, and suddenly his horse like rears up and bolts off and rides out, and you will see Undaunted Zedong is there. Oops. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I must have smacked his horse there. I'm very sorry about that. I will see you in town, Janai.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yes, he does seem like a bad rider. And then I think as you all start to trot out, Duan Su will ride up parallel to you, Songda. And she will look at you and she will reach out with a pouch.
Take it.
And you'll look inside and it has all those papers. And
Thank you for preserving these documents.
You've preserved so much here. I cannot, whatever you wish to do with them, I will not disagree with.
People should understand the dangers that can be brought into this world, not hidden from them.
And I think then we see the group of you literally riding off into the sunrise here in
I
the early
will,
morning.
as I'm kind of moving out, I'll kind of casually move my hand, and we have a silken handkerchief that will flutter in the wind behind my horse and will land at the feet of Songbird June as I ride off.
Nice. And that is our mystery. That is the Legend of Bad Valley. Thank you all very much for that. I would like to do a quick stars here at the end. Thoughts on the scenario overall, or thoughts on the session to play, whatever you want to say. Lin, anything you want to throw here at the end of this story?
Stars both to your extremely complicated mystery setup and to everyone making it fit together in some way, which I did not think was going to be possible. So
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the solution you all put together. Like, it was great. That was dynamite. And a bunch of stuff I didn't see coming. Like, certainly as a GM, I'm always looking at the clues and I'm always thinking about what this is going to be. And there were some things that kind of parallel what I was thinking, but a lot of it that went in really interesting new ways. So dynamite.
I really
cat.
loved the Blossom Devouring Guardian is Lady Silkwind explanation. That
was great.
Like, that just unlocked the whole thing for me.
Really dynamite. Bao Shi.
This was a hell of a mystery. I loved all of our NPCs in it. I really liked Wasp. I to see the dynamics inside the family was wonderful. There were plenty of people that felt villainous to be the sort of murderer. The mystery of Bad Valley and getting down there. I loved getting down into the depths and seeing the forbidden knowledge and kind of constructing, you giving us this, there was a positive purpose for them. And then I thought, Patrick, you did a very nice bit there at the end to remind them that they could be that positive purpose again. Thought that was excellent. I loved multiple 10 ties on top of 10 ties all the way down. That ended up being spectacular. And it really felt good as we started layering things in. Everybody put something in. Everything ended up kind of fitting together in a really cool, pleasant way. And that, it's always nice when a mystery hits and you're like, okay, we're all giving something fantastic into this solution. So a really good mystery.
Awesome. Janai?
I have to echo what everyone else said because they're all correct. It was unexpected. It was twisty turny. We were all brilliant in bringing the things together. You gave us so much good stuff to work with. It's so much drama, but so many gaps in between. I mean, I've been thinking about it since the second session, like going, well, no, that doesn't make any sense. What's the timeline on this? And trying to get that straight to like, go, can I come up, and yet none of it mattered until we started, and it was all just from scratch. I mean, that's the thing, is it's like, and it worked beautifully. It worked beautifully because going just clue by clue and having that facet and having to talk it through that much means that everyone else is on the kind of same page, even if, like, when you first start saying it, like I did, I said it poorly, what I intended, and we kind of walked through it, and then everyone else just moved with it so good, so well, so gracefully, and we came up with, I think, a situation that had a lot of drama in it, and then the way that you let us kind of go back and go, okay, you're working this out here. You have some scenes before, so it was nice that we had the flashbacks and all of that stuff to kind of make it all go smoothly instead of it turn into a bloodbath when we did the explanation. Thank you. That's all I can say to all of my fellow players and to the GM.
And Song Da?
Yeah, this was complicated nonsense in a really great way. Like, I definitely came into this session with absolutely no idea what was going on. Like, we had figured out 2 Tantais, and that's as far as I'd gotten. So that we managed to put it all together into something seemingly sensical. I'm not going to poke too many holes at it. But also, like, moving and interesting was just astounding. The blossom devouring lady, what's her name?
Guardian.
I've forgotten all things.
Blossom.
Yeah, her being the parent of the children and the lover in jail, and the over the top melodramatic twist of killing the wrong one by like a day after being separated for so long, and like revealing to Wasp that they had long lost sibling cousins, whatever they are, figuring out the like merged identity of the wheelwrights and how they must have lived their life is still fascinating to me. But genuinely, the thing I saw coming the least was that scene in Wheelwright's room with Duan Su. It just instantly went so bad, and I went from like, this is my victory, to just I genuinely felt so bad. I was like, I cannot make these decisions for my character. This is someone that I've dragged through the worst decision making. But it really, like, I just drove home a deeper point about the character to me again here at the end.
Good.
And it was very nice. Her walking through was not what I expected, and it totally swerved things.
Awesome. I'm going to stop the recording. I have a couple of things to talk about after we're done with the recording. Let me stop this.